Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
A jury has now convicted Dr. Kermit Gosnell of multiple murders and other significant violations for running his so-called House of Horrors. But frankly, this is the face of abortion. Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me to talk about this important issue is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. This is not an aberration. This is, in fact, the face of abortion, and that's why the mainstream media did not want to cover this, because if they did, it's an indictment on their ideology with regards to abortion.
Well, liberalism relies on deception in order to trick people into believe they're getting something that they're not. Kermit Gosnell is liberalism personified. He is abortion personified. You're right, he's the face of abortion. But people need to understand that this notion of pro-choice, anytime somebody tells you, I'm pro-choice, say, oh, that's interesting. Choice to do what? You're pro-choice for, well, I'm pro-choice that a woman should be able to choose to have an abortion. Well, what are they choosing, though? What is an abortion? Well, it's they have to inevitably arrive at the reality that it's killing an unborn child, whether it's in the womb or just 12 inches removed is irrelevant. A dead baby is a dead baby, and Kermit Gosnell is the abortion industry in a person.
And, you know, Planned Parenthood came out with a statement not condemning Kermit Gosnell for the atrocities, but basically saying this illustrates that women need access to abortion. They had access to abortion. This was abortion. That's what he did. And, you know, he was befuddled when the verdict was read to him, that he was sort of stunned. Why am I being convicted of something that's legal to do? This is what I do. You know, the defense attorney didn't put on any witnesses. And he said both then and after the verdict that the reason that one of his arguments was this is what he was paid to do. He was paid to kill children. This is what he was paid to do. This is the face of abortion. That's why he didn't put on any witnesses, I think, because why? This was part of America since 1973. This is legal under Roe versus Wade. And if you can do it in the womb, why not just take care of it just a minute or so after, if the ultimate decision was to kill the baby anyway? What difference does it make? Yeah. And that's why I think Gosnell was befuddled, and the attorney didn't put on any evidence. But this now, I think, has made people rethink, if this is abortion, this is not what we want in America.
Yeah, you know, I think Kermit Gosnell was surprised. All he was doing was taking to its natural conclusion the very thing that people like President Obama have advocated publicly. As you know, Matt, when he was a state senator, President Obama stood vehemently opposed, vocally opposed, Illinois' version of the Born Alive Infant Protection Act.
This very thing.
The very thing that Gosnell was doing.
They wanted to introduce a bill that would stop this very thing, and he stopped it not once but 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times he opposed it, and even said that to require that a doctor take affirmative steps to save a baby that's been born alive runs counter to the decision of the doctor and the mother to induce labor and perform an abortion. Well, what other alternative is there? A, put the baby over in a corner, let nature take its course, let it die, or B, just finish it off like Kermit Gosnell was doing. And if we're in a culture of death here, Matt. If they're going to kill the baby in the womb, a late-term baby, what's 30 seconds and 12 inches? What's the difference between the baby being removed 30 seconds and 12 inches? There is no difference.
And it's that reason why I think the mainstream media didn't want to cover this, because if this is horrible, and it is, and it's murder, which it is, and that's what the jury found, but common sense would dictate that as well, then if that's bad and it's murder, then moving it 1 minute earlier when the child is still in the womb and snipping, as he could have done, he could have snipped the spinal cord of that child in the womb. That's what partial birth abortion essentially does. There's a law now on the books that bans partial birth abortion. But President Obama, when he was Senator Obama of the United States Senate, and the Supreme Court upheld that law in 2007, he was outraged. This is terrible that you would outlaw this partial birth abortion where you're actually putting the child in a breech position except for the head. Everything else is exposed outside of the uterus, outside of the woman. The only thing that's inside still is the head, and you inject scissors into the base of the skull, open it up, and suck out the brains. I mean, that's no different than what Gosnell was doing.
None whatsoever.
But that was part of partial birth abortion, and that was legal under Roe versus Wade. It's something that President Obama supported. You can't have a president that has that kind of immorality, that kind of disdain for life, run the country and assume that the leadership is going to have wisdom or that this country will be blessed with that kind of leadership.
It's evil. I mean, it is just plain evil. And President Obama, when the Carhart decision came down, and they determined that based on the medical science, the AMA, the American Medical Association, said that a partial birth abortion is never necessary under any circumstances. He called it a concerted effort to, quote, roll back women's hard-fought rights. It's absurd. I mean, it's insane is what it is.
It's
and
insane.
What Gosnell was doing is no different than what President Obama has supported in the past, both in opposing Born Alive and in opposing the ban on partial birth abortion. It's just plain wicked. It is evil.
We look back on Nazi Germany and we look at these horror films and these movies and these pictures. And in fact, you go to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., as I've been there, and also the Yad Vashem in Israel, where we are taking a group of people on the Liberty Ambassador Council program. We'll actually be speaking to a Holocaust survivor. We did last year as well, someone who was in Auschwitz. And you listen to the stories and you see the videos and you hear the testimony of these people, some of whom are still alive. And you wonder, how could humanity have gone to that level? But it was gradual. And then when they ultimately were stopped, they're befuddled. What's wrong? We're just experimenting on these dregs of society. Yeah. That's where we are in this country. We've legalized abortion through this ridiculous Supreme Court decision in 1973. And now we come to Kermit Gosnell. And it is the progression from abortion in 73 to where we are now. This is the face of abortion. This is why it needs to stop. We need to roll back this horrible tragedy and usher in a new era of a culture of life.
You know, Matt, understandably, victims and family members of the Jewish Holocaust, the Nazi Holocaust in Germany, don't take it lightly when people compare what happened to them to something else. But in this instance, there is no better comparison. We are suffering in the United States of America post-1973 Roe v. Wade a Holocaust of epic proportions. 55+ million babies slaughtered in the womb and outside of the womb, as we see with Kermit Gosnell, and in sting operations with Planned Parenthoods around the country, with doctors and nurses admitting that they do essentially the same thing. Babies born alive, they either just put it in the corner and let nature take its course, or they put it in a toxic solution, drowned it in this toxic solution, and the baby dies. They finish it off. But this is a Holocaust that we are suffering here in the United States of America.
Well, Lila Rose with Live Action has recently had undercover videos and gone to different abortion clinics from the east to the west coast. And these undercover videos, these people say, including a doctor, that they do this same thing. This is not
on a daily basis.
Yeah, this is not something abnormal. Yeah. It's not something, well, wow, that's really out there to the far edge. This is abortion. And in fact, if you go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org, and scroll down to the bottom, and it has several different subjects, one of which is abortion. Click on that. And then on that page, you'll see a story about baby Rowan. There's 3 photographs of baby Rowan. Baby Rowan was a late second, early third trimester abortion in Orlando, Florida. The abortionist now has lost his license, been put in jail, and has lost his license. Not over this particular situation. We reported it, and the state of Florida didn't do anything, but over another situation in the same clinic. And what ultimately happened was they gave this drug. The lady came in, delivered the baby in the toilet. This is exactly what we hear in the testimony that happened in Kermit Gosnell. One of the ladies delivered the baby in the toilet, and it was moving around, trying to grasp air, and ultimately died. That's what happened to baby Rowan. You'll see a photograph of baby Rowan. This is the face of abortion. This is what happens when we ultimately remove the foundation of the sanctity of human life. God created each one of us in His image and infused us with dignity because we are made in the image of God. We can't cheapen that at any end of the spectrum, because if we do, we cheapen all life. Go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org. That's lc.org. Remember to pray for the ministry and support us financially. You can do that right there on the website, lc.org. You can also, from that website, go to our other website, lifeunited.org. That's lifeunited.org. It's a website dedicated solely to the sanctity of human life.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.